Today we're gonna get into my preview of number 7 Oklahoma versus Team Texas, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
Woo! It's Texas Hate Week, baby. Yeah! What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And I'm going to get into my preview of Oklahoma versus Texas. But first, I got these t-shirts. Our man Baker Mayfield got the start, and the Browns look good. And if you want to support Baker Mayfield, but you don't want to wear that nasty orange color, yeah, I'm looking at you, Texas fans, you can go buy this shirt. I got one. I'm going to wear it on the show. And also, pre-order my book, Let It Bang. It's about my journey into guns and what I found, and I think it's worth your time. It comes out on October 23rd. It is available wherever books are sold. So now, Tom Herman, we coming for your lid on Saturday, Herm. I've been waiting all year for this. All year. From the Garrett Wilson snub, to the Tom Herman sum, to the Maryland game, to the Tim Beck, to the Todd Orlando. I'm ready for it. And I'm about to get you ready for it. But Tom, bro, we coming down there with the Infinity Gauntlet, ready to snap our fingers. Dallas, are you ready? Dallas ain't even ready. Let me get into the review. First, the Longhorn fans are feeling real, they're kind of Brody. They feeling pretty good about themselves. They're on their first 4-game win streak since 2013. Somehow they only managed to score 19 on Kansas State and then had the nerve to chant beat OU at Manhattan. First of all, folks in Manhattan, Kansas don't care and don't know what you're talking about. Second of all, Kansas State is the worst team in the Big 12, but I'll get to that in just a minute. Keep OU's name out your mouth, all right? That's number one. That's number two. Tuck Texas. That's where we at right now. That's where we at. But the win makes Oklahoma a 7.5-point favorite, and there's reason to believe that based on the way that Texas has played since suffering its loss to Maryland. By the way, Texas got doubled up by Maryland. It's gone on a 4-game win streak. And while Texas fans are quick to talk about how they've beaten 2 top 25 teams and OU has yet to play a top 25 team, the 2 teams they beat are 3-2. And USC was barely a top 25 team, just like Texas. And TCU took an L to Ohio State in a game they should have won. And then I don't know what was going on down there in Austin, but both of those teams are 3-2. And then I was digging through the stats of the Texas-Kansas State game, and I was looking for a 300-yard passer. Didn't see one. I was looking for a 100-yard rusher for Texas. Didn't see one. And then I went back through the game logs, and Sam Hard G. Ellinger hasn't thrown for 300 yards in a game all year. And more to the point, the running backs at Texas, there's not a one of them that has rushed for 100 yards in a game. Matter of fact, most folks outside of Austin can't tell you who the number 1 running back is for Texas. That's how bad it is down there. It used to be a pretty good running back university. Cedric Benson, Ricky Williams, even Deontay Foreman a few years back, Jamal Charles. Now, y'all taking grad transfers from Cal. Bad look. Real bad look. But getting back to Sam Hard G. Ellinger for just a second. Ellinger has kind of gotten better with each game. Threw for 54% against Maryland, had a really bad game where he threw for 45%, and since then, he's been completing about 68% of his passes. Right now, his season percentage is at 65%, but Hard G ain't gonna beat you. Not OU at least. Hard G's averaging about 10 yards per completion or 7 yards per attempt, depending on how you want to see it. For perspective, Oklahoma's Kyler Murray, Heisman Trophy candidate Kyler Murray, $4.6 million Kyler Murray, is averaging 19 yards per completion or 13 yards per attempt. And he's completing 71% of his passes, which basically puts him on par with the most efficient college football quarterback in history who came from who? Who, Longhorn fans? Where you come from? That's right, Oklahoma. That's right. That's our dude, Baker Mayfield. That's our dude. Kyler Murray, also our dude. So what I'm saying is Texas is not going to beat you with Hard G at quarterback, especially with Kyler Murray at quarterback. And then if we look at how the Texas running back stacked up, I've already just alluded to it. They ain't very good, man. Now, Trey Watson is their best back, but the most yardage he's rushed for this season in a single game is 74. 74 yards from your starting tailback. Now, you can say that Keontae Ingram is the more talented back, but he hasn't run the ball more than 10 times in a game, and he certainly hasn't gone over 70 yards rushing. Plus, I don't see either one of those dudes doing much with Kenneth Murray Jr., Curtis Bolton, or Caleb Kelly in the middle. For Longhorn fans, Kenneth Murray Jr. is coming off of back-to-back games where he's had a combined 45 tackles in a game. If you're coming through the middle, chances are he's going to wrap you up, put you on the ground. Same thing with Curtis Bolton, who had 16 tackles last game, and 23 against Army. The linebackers be real good at Oklahoma. Plus, while the defensive line at OU ain't world beaters, they don't suck either. Neville Gallimore, Ronnie Perkins, and Monty Bledsoe get Kenneth Mann back, that's a plus, but you also got Mark Jackson out there sacking quarterbacks. Defensive line is the edge for OU, especially when we're talking about run defense. And I've been harping on OU's run defense, but it's not nearly as bad as its pass defense, and I'll get to that in a minute. However, Oklahoma got some running backs. I know a lot of folks are still talking about how the running backs don't look like Rodney did last year. Well, Rodney didn't look like Rodney at this point last year. Through 5 games last season, Rodney Anderson had 22 carries for 82 yards on the season. Perspective, both Kennedy Brooks and Trey Sermon have rushed for 100 yards in back-to-back games respectively. We're okay at running back. And you can make an argument that Kennedy Brooks is the 4th guy on that depth chart for some people. You have Trey Sermon, you have Marcellus Sutton when he's healthy, you have TJ Pledger, who's going to be pretty good, but you also got Kennedy Brooks, who had 8 carries for 107 yards. I don't care that it was in garbage time. I care that he ran the ball when he was asked to, and he put up numbers. But even if you want to harp on how Trey Sermon wasn't very good at running the ball against Baylor, can I get you to acknowledge the 51-yard catch and run he had that made him look like a grown man running through tackles? I was really just sad for him that he did not get that TD, just fell short. But man, he was doing work, which to my point is not the kind of work that you expect any of the Texas running backs to do. Now at wide receiver, Texas is a problem. LJ Humphrey and Colin Johnson in particular, those guys probably watched the Hakeem Butler tape against OU and said, we gonna do that too. LJ Humphrey is 6'4", Colin Johnson is 6'6". It's going to be a long day for Parnell Motley. That's what I'm saying out here, because Parnell Motley's obviously going to be on the field, and Trey Brown, who a lot of folks believe is OU's best corner, is going to have to lock up somebody else. I know Trey Norwood's going to get some run, but Trey Brown is the best defensive back Oklahoma boasts today. So I expect to hear a lot about Trey Brown matching up against a Colin Johnson and a LJ Humphrey, but it's not just those guys. There are 5 guys for Texas who are absolute burners at wideout. I mentioned Johnson and Humphrey, but there's also Devin Duvernay, Kyle Porter, and Andrew Beck. They can all catch the ball, and they all know what to do with it after they catch it. This means that it's going to be another long day for Oklahoma's secondary, and nobody has been as good at making middling quarterbacks like Hard G look like Heisman winners than Mike Stoops in the secondary. Like Zeb Nolan wasn't that good at Iowa State, still threw for 350. Charlie Brewer was averaging 261 a game, threw for 400. So what I'm saying is the scheme or the defensive backs, pick one. You can go either or for me. Have to come to play. If you give up 400 yards against Texas, the defense is good enough to hold you off. However, if we get more Khalil Houghton games like the one we got out of him at Baylor with 11 tackles, forced fumble, and just hitting everything that moved, I got to say they're going to be okay. I would like to see more Justin Broyles, and I need to see Buki get back on his 5-star status. However, he's been really good, especially as a true freshman. Defensively for Texas, Chris Boyd, Caden Stearns, those guys can play, particularly Caden Stearns, who might be the best freshman defensive player in the country. He's already got 3 picks in 5 games. That's the safety to watch over the top for Oklahoma, and I can't wait to see what it looks like when Hollywood Brown is going by him. Now, outside of Stearns, you have some tacklers. You got Brandon Jones, you got Gary Johnson, Anthony Wheeler, and PJ Locke. They can all wrap people up, put them on the ground. But that dude, Brecken Hager, he ain't the holy terror his Instagram post to Kyler said he was gonna be. Matter of fact, for a guy who's real flashy, he's been playing real flat. But the Texas defense is as good as the one that we saw last year, and the statistics bear that out. They're holding teams to less than 20 points a game, giving up just 99 points in 5 games. And it's not like they're just tackling people and getting them off the field on 3rd down. They've also created 10 turnovers on interceptions and forced fumbles alone in 5 games. So ball security and safe throws with the ball by Kyler are also going to be an emphasis against Texas. In special teams, kicker Cameron Dicker makes his extra points. He's 5 of 8 in field goals. And punt returner Deshaun Jameson can run one back because he did. He's had 2 punt returns. One of them went back for a touchdown. So this game for me is shaping up to be a battle of Oklahoma's high-powered offense versus Texas's pretty good defense. Oklahoma's okay defense against Texas's okay offense. And I'm sure Lincoln Riley will have some tricks up his sleeve. I like Lincoln Riley against Todd Orlando. I think we can win that and win it going away. Mike Stoops versus Tim Beck, I'm going to call a pick'em because a lot of folks in Austin feel about Tim Beck the way that we feel about Mike Stoops here. But it is going to be fun. College game day is coming to the game. 11 a.m. kickoff in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. This is the most highly anticipated Red River Rivalry game in recent memory, which is nice and awesome to have again. But I'll put it like this to you Texas fans. Dread it, run from it, destiny still arrives. And the Sooners are coming to Texas to take everything you hold dear. Hide your kids. Deuces.